Hello, Planet Watchers. Welcome to spring. Welcome to Taurus.
Welcome to Taurus, everyone. Get ready.
Oh boy. Yeah, you said it doesn't really feel too much like spring there. It's really cold in Geneva.
No, in Geneva, it's just being ridiculous. We had a nice warm spell 2 weeks ago, and I guess that was supposed to do it for us. Now we have to wait. We're all sitting around in our cold apartments because the heat's off because it's spring. And I, for one, am just bundled up to the gills.
Oh, gee.
But it'll happen. It'll happen. The colors are out, the trees are out, the flowers are out, everything's beautiful. I just hope they don't freeze. Oh well.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, we had our little cold snap too here in Kansas City. Yes. So we've got some stuff coming up for Taurus. You said in the Radiate Wellness community group that this period starts dramatically. What's going
Well, dramatically, like on the first day, that is to say the 20th of April, whatever it is, tomorrow for us.
tomorrow
We're
for
doing
us?
that on Wednesday. 20th of April, we've got a solar eclipse. It's not going to be terribly active for us, Europe and in stateside, but it's very precise over Peking, over Beijing, and southern China, also Taiwan. And I think we're going to see a period of a real heating up. It's getting scary over there. I don't know if you've been following the news, but this could the military games that are going on both sides. The Chinese fleet is out, the Japanese fleet is out, the Americans are showing up. Everybody's going around this poor island that never asked for all this attention. Anyway, it's going to be a very hot time. These now we know that the solar eclipse sort of sets the mood for about 6 months, huh? So we're going to see through this time a lot of these scare tactics going on happening in Taurus. I don't know to what extent all of this is just talk. All of this is flexing of muscles, but it's pretty scary to watch, and it doesn't look terribly nice in the sky. We're going to have to relax around that. Now, on a more personal basis, bringing all this back home, um, it's a time, and for other reasons that we'll talk about in a minute, it's going to be a period of flexing muscles sort of all over on court dates, litigation that's going on, also contract renewals. Also, we're looking at certain famous trials that are going on or will be going on in the very near future. I'm
yeah.
thinking, yeah, I'm thinking especially about war crimes that are being actually very seriously looked at in the Ukraine, among other places, and of course the major Trump indictments that have happened in the States. So all of this is going to reach a critical mass, I think, during these next few weeks, and we'll certainly have a look at that as we're going along. The other big news, so we're starting out great. Tomorrow, after tomorrow, Mercury is going to go retrograde and will be retrograde until the 15th of May. This one doesn't look too bad. Mercury is always Mercury in retrograde movement is always sort of interesting about going back and digging up old information, looking over files, looking over archives, and so on. I think a lot of that is going to be done in these next few weeks, and especially touching on these war crimes and so on. We're going to finally be getting serious about other older crimes that have been going on. This is going to be true in the Trump indictments. This is going to be true in again all the war crime investigations that are going on. It's definitely going to be important. Very interesting too, because at the same time this Mercury is going retrograde, it's also going over Uranus. Now Uranus, that's in a very nice aspect to Mars. So this is all setting up this sort of coming to a head in confrontations, in war situations. We're going to see new forms of cybernetic war, cybernetic activity
Okay.
uh, on all kinds of level. I'm looking for a lot more of that than on the feet on the ground fighting, actually. But it could take a new turn that could be just as deadly, finally. We'll see.
Right, right, right. Very interesting. So
Yeah,
with every Mercury retrograde, it seems like it has a different flavor, a different thing that it attacks, be it, IT, be it, written communications, be it travel, etc. It sounds
for
like
sure, for sure. And this one is not actually much different. It's in this happens because as the Mercury is going backward, it's happening in another sign. Now this time, Mercury is still in Taurus at 15 degrees tomorrow, and we'll be going backward up to, oh gosh, I don't know. It goes back pretty far, actually, to 0 degrees, I think, before coming forward again, but staying in Taurus. Now, Taurus is a dug deep in kind of an energy, huh? This is something that moves slowly, if it moves at all. It's extremely ideas are very fixed in one's mind. It's not changing direction, changing ideas very quick. So it's going to be really concentrating on old stuff, concentrating and pushing arguments as hard as they can be pushed during this period in Taurus. Now, the next one is happening, I don't know, in Leo, and we're going to see another type of reaction of this Mars, this Mercury. It will have other things to do.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
Right.
your point is well taken. It's important to remember just what we're supposed to be accomplishing during this Mercury retrograde. Um, in uh, in Taurus, I would say take care of your old plants. This is a time to be cleaning up the garden and taking care of your perennials, for instance, things that are still around. Taking care. Don't worry about the new stuff that'll you'll get around to next month in Gemini,
Right, right, right. Oh, very
kind
interesting.
of idea.
Right, right. Absolutely. And so do we have this? So that's a solar eclipse and Mercury retrograde. What else is coming up in Taurus?
Oh, well, 2 weeks later, of course, as usual, there's the lunar eclipse that's going to be much more personal, actually. This is not unimportant either. In Taurus, and I'm looking for a time when, as we've got another situation with my friend Venus, who's acting up these days.
Hmm.
She's going to be as far away, she's moving as far away from the sun as she can possibly go. This is always a time for about 45 degrees, is as far away as Venus can ever be. During these periods, both in forward movement and in retrograde movement, this is a time when estrangement occurs. We feel out of touch. Now, this Venus is going to be in Cancer when this is going on, and for the most part. And this is a time when, in family situations, we can feel periods of estrangement, of just being totally cut off in communication with our family. Um, it's going to be true on the money markets as well, and stock markets as well. This time, looking for some major problems in stock markets in the next few days. It's also not, I'm talking really about this period of estrangement between Venus and the Sun is from about the 6th of May until the 23rd of June. We've got a nice long time when they're traveling together but out of whack. It's like being one person in the end of one car on the train, and the other person that he's supposed to be with is clear at the other end of the next car, and they're just not they may wind up at the same place at the same time, but in the meanwhile, there's no communication possible. It's just that kind of situation. And this is going on especially while Venus is in Cancer from the 7th of May until the 5th of June. This is a time when it's not good either for most money dealings, monetary dealings, especially stock market dealings, especially copper. If any of you out there look at hard metal markets, copper's in trouble these days, and it's not a good time for buying and selling of real estate.
Okay, so it's not. Yeah, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, you're going to be having real difficulty lining up proper clients, solvent clients, partners in these deals. The same is basically true in realigning contracts, existing contracts. As I said with Mercury, for the same reason, the communication is just not happening, and we want to wait until, I would say after the 5th of June before getting into any very serious renegotiating of contracts.
Okay.
And
Okay.
for real estate, forget it. Just
Really? Until when?
there's nobody out there until I'm going to say the 23rd of June, when finally the sun, it's basically a trick of finding and talking to the right people and talking the same language. So you're going to run into eventual buyers or sellers of your house, who with whom you just have no proper contact. And it's going to be just all kinds of trouble getting a proper price, getting a proper bank loan, getting a proper movement between parties. So this until, I'm thinking well into the end of the 20th of June anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So careful out there. That's what I want to say. Be really careful with whom you're dealing and what's being said on one side and on the other.
Mm. Yeah, good advice. Good
Yeah.
advice. Yeah, so I mean, at first it sounded like this is going to be a really crazy, very intense period, but I don't know. I mean, for world events, it does seem to be very intense, but on a personal level, just some minor inconveniences, things to watch out for, things to wait.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking that it's really going this way. Um, the other concerns I had were about the sun coming in and over Uranus. This is happening, will be in very tight conjunction, in fact, between the 7th and the 17th of May. Now, sun coming over Uranus, and especially here in Taurus, it's not overexciting. Things aren't moving very fast, but this is a run-in that is going to invite a change, invite surprises in one's life. As the sun is going over Uranus, we're going to look for, as I said, other problems with communications, online stuff going over with the sun in conjunction to Uranus. But the basic move is not really bad. I'm thinking as this is happening, and there's some awkward aspects going from Jupiter and Saturn, but this is all bringing to light actually court cases, indictments. Finally, we're pointing fingers in some right directions, and I think there will be a lot of clearing of the air with this kind of movement, the Sun and Uranus. Surprising, but basically healthy.
No, that's not bad. There's been much in the news lately of leaked documents,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about United States news,
Uh-huh.
with leaked classified information. Yeah,
Yeah.
what is the climate for that coming back to haunt us?
Well, this is, I think, has everything to do with this Mercury retrograde period, and also is in function of the last Mercury retrograde when these things were finally being looked up and talked about. But we're definitely going to see a lot of that. It's bringing to light old news, and certainly, yeah, as far as the hookup with Uranus and with all of our classified online documents now, so many things are going to be looked into and much more carefully, much more easily through the net.
Mhm.
And we're going to see all kinds of hacking and other phenomena of that sort during this period of Mercury retrograde and in conjunction of the movement of the Sun and Uranus. This is all coming to light right now.
Mhm. Right. Some of this stuff, not a moment too soon, such as the indictments going on around the Trump family. I think this has been going on for such a long time.
Yes, and it's finally, I think we're finally going to be able to clear the air a little bit and get some real action happening. You know, there's been so much uh, putting off since the time of the council of the commission that was looking into his stuff.
Mhm.
Months have gone by. And while they were keeping a low profile, wanting again to look for old details, this is a perfect time to be bringing up these old details that were necessary to wait for, actually. And while it hasn't made any sense to us, I'm sure for the people who've been in charge of this movement, it makes pretty good sense finally to have some clear-cut cases, some clear-cut indictments to make. So, you know, I think this is uh, keeping with the time that we're working in.
Mhm. Mhm. There's also, I'm sure that you've heard, even there in Geneva, another shooting of a young black man,
Oh,
Kansas City.
yes, yes. Well, of course, we hear about these things, and I've got, I've got to say that the attitude where I'm sitting in Europe is just of shock. You
Mhm.
know, pe people here seem to say, what is wrong with this society that this is even possible, that this is even commendable? You know, there are so many people out there that say, I need my guns, I have to have my guns. Uh, and it seems so endless and so basically wrong, so basically deadly, that it's scarcely possible for us sitting here to imagine these weekly events, if not daily.
Oh, it's yes, yes, yes. Um, and luckily and thankfully, they've got the person in under arrest.
Uh-huh.
So he's out on bail, but they have the person charged and uh,
Yeah.
go to trial. So,
Uh,
but I'm hoping that we that there will be a good movement of this trial coming.
well, yes. I don't think anything, but the dates are going to be pushed off in all concerns, probably until Mercury comes direct on the 15th of May, and probably into Gemini, into the after the 20th, as we get into the period of Gemini, things are going to pick up speed a little bit. But until then, I know it's just hard to sit still and and even try to understand what's going on.
No, no. I
It's
mean, that
it's
kid was
very busy.
the same age as my daughter,
Yes, yes.
same color as my daughter. So
It's so
it's
strange. So strange.
odd. Yes, yes,
Shouldn't
yes.
shouldn't happen. I think we're all in favor of that. As far as anything getting done on gun control, I just say keep the pressure on in Congress. Do what you need to do over there because they're the only ones who are going to finally stand up, perhaps, and say, no, this cannot go on, and maybe change some people's mind as far as the buying and selling of guns, basically.
Right, absolutely. Make it like a car having to be tested and registered and checked and all of.
Yes, precisely, and have a license for it and all of those things, it just doesn't it make good sense? I don't know.
It does. And so, astrologically speaking, is there any type of climate for sensible gun control coming up?
Uh, I, for one, don't see one, especially the sun coming over Uranus. This is happening, well, this month, and we'll keep on for a little while. But the sun coming over Uranus is going to represent another push for independence. You know, the, Uranus is all about personal liberty, and as the sun moves over Uranus, it can also represent mass movements, speaking out for our liberties and so on. Revolutions happen under this kind of conjunction and so on. But also on a very personal level, this is where your Joe Blow is saying, my rights first, and the rest of you guys just do whatever you need to do. And this is what I fear, being one very personal movement in this particular conjunction, this particular astrological move. I don't see it being very useful as far as regaining gun control. We're going to have to keep on keeping on. We're getting close to in the Congress, to their summer break. Keep the pressure on through Cancer, through the period where family interests are important in the period of Cancer. This is the end of June, July. This is when we might theoretically be able to see some turnaround, but I don't know. I get discouraged sometimes sitting here looking at people and looking at people under the sky that seems very organized and very useful to read, and doing nothing on the human level to improve their situation.
Yes, it is a bit demoralizing at times, I have to say. But
I gotta tell you. But we'll get through this eclipse, and that's the good news.
yes, 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 yes. And so we'll see you again in Gemini.
In Gemini, yes. Look for us after the 15th of whatever, May, something like that, and we'll see what's new.